प्रतिबोधितां भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भगवद्वेषिणीम् नमोऽस्तु देयासदृशाय बुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दाय तव प्रणेन्द्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Verse number 70. यस्त्वात्मरतिरेव स्यात् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टः तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थः नाकृते नेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः तस्मादसक्तः सततम् कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पूरुषः। Bhagavan says, O Arjuna, asaktah san karyam karma samachara. May you perform your harmony contributory deeds with an attitude of anasakti and do it well. Tasmat, that is therefore. Why Arjuna is told to do action? If you look at it, Arjuna has lived a life of dharma. Arjuna has lived a life of ethics all along. In fact, this battle is dharma yuddha. We call it dharma. On one side there is dharma, other side there is adharma. But mere life of dharma, mere life of duty, and this dharma and kartavya karma is not enough. He again tells you continue. Why it is not enough? The dharma should be performed with yajna bhavana, Ishwararpanam. Then it converts into Karmayoga. No doubt, sankalpa is always there. Any kartavya karma, like daily is supposed to perform Sandhya Vandan, Gayatri. So they do Sankalpa, Mamopata Samasta Durita Kshay Dvara Shri Parameshwar Prityatham. I do it for Ishvara Priti. That is just a Sankalpa. But while performing, there is no awareness all along that I am doing it for the Lord. So the word Tasmat implies what? You have been doing, no question about it. It is not that you start now. This Upadesha is not to Duryodhana. Duryodhana has to be told.
Yeah.
You do the Kartavya Karma. Partly it is like Duryodhana because he wanted to give up his dharma. He wanted to give up this contributory karma. So therefore you do this. But then Tasmat means, therefore means all that has gone by. So when somebody says therefore means something is before. Only therefore will be there. So all that he taught, Bhagavan gave teachings that you have to perform your karma with certain attitude. So you do that. Why? You have had some Shuddha Antakarana. But that is not enough for the knowledge to take place. Only Karmayoga, backed with proper attitude, will give that Shuddhi. Therefore you should have. Now look at this. Just for your, see in between this, you have to see the thing little deeper. People talk of varieties of paths, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Patanjali Yoga is there. In Mahabharata, Lord Krishna himself tells twice, I am the servant of Pandavas. Arjuna, I love him, sort of dear to my heart, and he has been always serving, almost doing seva. So much so he must have loved Arjuna that his own sister he gave away to Arjuna, Subhadra, the story is. And not only gave away, he helped him to run away. Love marriage. That is going on since then. All of you know the story. He used his own chariot. He said, take this, you can run fast. Duryodhana, his older brother, Balaramaji, may not agree. And he took care of that. So that must be love and respect. And the sister looked upon Krishna as a father. Acharya andar aavi jao, tanje banaave se. You just can daily keep some, move forward, don't keep the space, okay? Every day I have to tell, come forward, come forward. And then, tu thodi paachal khas jaye, like vacche jagya pe jaye. That's it. That one person can, bas, that's enough. So Bhagavan she looked upon him as a father. No father would marry away, or no brother would marry away daughter to unworthy person. He must have thought he is the best person. All along, he is with them. You should see the Bhagavatam when King Parikshit tells to Kali, you know, who am I? I am the grandson of these Pandavas. Which Pandavas? He narrates the whole Mahabharata. Every incident where Bhagavan stood by them. All the incidents, beginning from Laksha grew onwards, and we have been all along protected by Bhagavan. And Bhagavan was on our side, that means we are dharmi. How can you enter my kingdom? And if you read, then you know, my God, really Krishna was a servant. Pandavas, he did so much for them. You can say he has a partiality for them, almost. He was all the time backing them up. Behind the curtain, you see the whole Mahabharata Yuddha, he was right there. 2-3 times he saved them from death. At the end of it, there is a story when Arjuna's chariot got burnt. All that is Ishwar Krishna Krupa. He himself gives a certificate, you are my great bhakta. He must have been. Some bhakta may get some glimpse here and there. But he was physically available. And not only physically available, Arjuna had freedom to use all the words. In the 11th chapter, Arjuna seeks pardon. Ahara vihara sayyasana bhojaneshu. While eating, while walking, while roaming around, while sleeping, they were so buddies. Must have slept together. And then I might have uttered something. They joke out of it all that. I never knew, my God, you are this. I thought you were that. Pardon me, sir. Don't devour me. He is devouring. Krishna is in Vishwarupa, devouring Jagat, eating all the fellows. He said, don't please, forgive me. Forgive me by all those statements. Okay, don't take it. I never knew. Therefore, I did it out of my ignorance, out of my stupidity. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Such a Arjuna, see, that means he has Siddhanta Karma. Because Bhagavan is there. But to gain knowledge, you require a special Shuddhi. So he is again told, do karma. Please understand. If bhakti were to cook the goose of ahankara, you wouldn't have asked him to do anything. You are already mukta. Such a great bhakta. Bhakti doesn't cook the goose of ego unless the knowledge takes place. So Bhagavan tells him, himself tells. It is not someone else telling him. Bhagavan himself tells, hey, you better act with an attitude of yajna. Tasmat sabachara. So this thinking, bhakti will give moksha. Who moksha? Bhagavan gives moksha to bhaktas. But Bhagavan himself tells, I don't give. This is a shloka. He himself says, better study. You have to know. And for knowledge you need proper mind. And for that mind you need to do Karmayoga. Means yoga attitude, karma with attitude. So, that is a typical Shuddhi. Bhakta has a Shuddhi, but this requires a special Shuddhi that you gain through life of Karma. And therefore you do that. That means he thinks there are some cobwebs within, needs to be cleaned up. That's why the knowledge doesn't speak to Arjuna. That's why there is a confusion to Arjuna. And Bhagavan being omniscient knows what is him. So he said, you better study. You better do karma. And as I said yesterday, Arjuna himself again asked for this Upadesha. And when the Mahabharata battle got over, this is called Gita, that is called Anugita. Anugita means following Gita. Second Gita. By the way, there are 18 Gitas. Okay? Therefore, there is an adjective, Bhagavad Gita. Technically, the name is Bhagavad Gita. Because there is Shiva Gita, there is Uddhav Gita, there is Ashtavakra Gita, that you know only one name. That's all. Tadrupananda likes that. He keeps on talking on that. There are 18 Gitas. But this is so popular that it is called as Gita. When you say Gita, you mean only Bhagavad Gita. And that same Gita we have Anugita. Thereafter, Uddhava needed this Upadesha. So, Tasmat Karyam Karma Samachara. Karma here it means Karyam Karma. Karyam means that which is ought to be done. Implying for you, fighting is a Karyam Karma. War is a Karyam Karma. Do that. Having said so, again emphasizing the need to do karma, Bhagavan says something in the next one. कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्थिता जनकादयः लोकसंग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्थिता जनकादयः लोकसंग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि Bhagavan gives one more reason to do karma. He, that Hikara, indeed emphasizing what karmana eva, the Tritiya is by action only, performing actions only, and you have to add with an attitude of Karmayoga, performing action only with an attitude of Karmayoga, Janakadayaha samsiddhim astitaha. The siddhi means that thing to be accomplished. In Bhagavad Gita, siddhi and samsiddhi words are used, not simplying to be accomplished, it means moksha. Samsiddhim asthitaha. Asthitaha means gain, attain, or they abide in moksha. Abide in moksha meaning they abide in knowledge. Okay, they abided in knowledge. Who? Janakadayaha, Janak etc. Janak etc. Mahapurushas, they gain knowledge and they abided in the knowledge through karma only. And karmana eva means what it implies. Please remember, Karmayoga yukta karmana, not simple karma. Karma, any action endowed with the backed by attitude of Karmayoga. They got this. And Lokasangrahamevapi. Lokasangraha means the technical Sanskrit meaning is Lokasya unmargat, durmargat, pravrutti nivaranam, sanmarge pravartanam. That is Lokasangraha. Meaning thereby what? To provide an ideal for a common man, to commit to the proper way of living and give up the improper lifestyle, that is called Lokasangraha. To provide this, or that is why you protect the society, you protect the other person. So in order to protect the society, in order to provide the right kind of role model, an inspirational model for the society, you have to do some passion. Keeping this in mind, kartum arhasi. Arhasi means it deserves, it's proper, it's behooves of you to do this karma. Okay. Let us look at this. What he is saying is saying that there was a famous king Janaka in the tradition who was considered to be a wise person. He knew the self-knowledge. There are enough mentions in the Shastra, including in Upanishad, where Janaka and Yajnavalkya etc. dialogues are there. See, Karma Yoga is primarily meant for mumukshu. See, there are 2-3 stages. That to be human, to be human being, in terms of behavior, meant physically everybody is human being. To be human, one needs to be ethical. Do what is to be done. The common sense ethics. Then to be religious person, you follow that particular religious ethics, given by that religion. That's okay. So, to be human, one should have values, satyam, vada, etc. in the life. And to be religious Hindu human being, I should follow varnashram dharma. Whatever my religion tells, these do's and don'ts, the mandates, one should follow. That's fine. But to become a mumukshu, you have to do this karma with this attitude. The need for karma yoga is there because we are looking for a shuddha antakarana. Otherwise you don't need karma yoga. Why should I pray to Bhagavan? Why should I think of Lord? I am not interested. I am living ethical life. That's enough. That is okay. But if you are clear as to what you are seeking in life, if you want moksha and that person doesn't know but Shastra knows, so Shastra gave this attitude, you do this because ultimately you have to discover that I need moksha. The fellow himself or herself doesn't know. Because of this attitudinal behavior in terms of kartavya karma, he suddenly discovered what parikshalokan karmachitan brahmano nirveda maya nasti akruta krudana. It strikes to him. So karma yoga is meant for only mumukshu. If the goal of the individual or the goal of the society or goal of the religion is not moksha, again moksha in terms of knowledge, every religion talks of moksha. What moksha? Going to heaven moksha. Swami said tourism moksha. That's a tourism moksha. And they talk about. So that is a goal, then it is karma yoga is written. You don't need to be karma yogi. One needs to be karma yogi. Means when I say need to be karma yogi means karyam karma kuru samachara asaktasya. Asakta word indicates what? Without attachment means Ishvara arpan buddhya, with the attitude of surrender to Bhagavan. In the awareness of Ishvara. Detached, be detached. This is all advice people give. Since Swami is talking, some students, you should not be attached as if I decided to be attached. It is like saying, you should not fall sick. Who wants to fall sick? Who wants? Nobody wants. In fact, the fellow, suppose the person has a stomach problem and he goes to doctor, I have a problem. You should not have stomach problem. I have come to you because I have a problem. Similarly, he comes to Swami, you should not have attachment. What is this? Shastra padhe nahi. Pravachan karte. They keep doing pravachanas. Be detached means what? Live in the awareness of Ishvara. Act with the awareness of Ishvara. That means see them, the Ishvara as an order. Surrendering the order is surrendering Ishvara. And doing karma is doing to please Ishvara. That is detachment. That is nishkamta. The people gloss over. You should work you should do nishkam karma. What kind of nishkam karma? Then I want to do nishkam karma, that itself is kamna. The person has a kamna that I am doing nishkam karma. How can you do nishkam? People tell me also, Swamiji, every week I want to do 2 hours nishkam karma. There I said, in ashram. That never happened. Because while working here, see, when you have to say don't do this yama, yama, niyama, satya, ahimsa, asteya, etc. Yama means you have to control. Yamayati, niyamayati. You have to withdraw. Why you have to say that? If there is no possibility, you don't have to control. Correct? If there is a possibility, then you have to control it. Otherwise not. Like store the water. But if there is rain, where is the question of building dam in Sahara? There is no possibility. That there is a possibility that we speak untruth, therefore say Satyam Vadat. That there is a possibility that we hurt people because of the pressure of desire, so it is as ahimsa. That there is a possibility that we may steal. Swamiji, in modern times, we don't do that. And if at all we do, there are CCTV cameras, you don't know, in the mall. But celebrities have disease. Every 6 months you get a newspaper, so they picked up something from the mall and caught. You know this? A typical Indian provision store, a sari store and few things. He told this, group of 3-4 ladies used to come daily and ask for some item and this and show me this and show me that and show me this. Bother him for half an hour and will not buy and go. No, we don't like. 4th day the same came. This fellow, after big businessman, says he showed something, but while showing, he said, "Benji, आप रोज आते हो, मैं देखता हूँ कुछ लेते नहीं हो. I see that you don't take anything from my store." One of them said, "That's wrong, we are taking but you don't see." भाई हमें लइए से पर तब देखा तो That's why we come in a group. So 3 of them keep you in attention and the 3rd one, 4th one does the job. Anyway, coming back to this, niyama. Yamayati means not to be done. Niyama means to be done. There is a possibility of all this. Otherwise there is no need to do. Why should Shastra say ahimsa? Does Shastra say eat? Because it is natural that I am going to eat. You have to, Shastra has to tell, don't eat so much. But that you should eat doesn't need to be told. We know that I need to eat. Then why you should tell don't eat so much? There is a sloka, Puriya Nardamannena Trutiyam Udakena va Vayoho Sancharnarthaya Chaturtham Avsheshayet. There is a Upadesha that you should drink. How much should you eat? 50%. Half the belly should be filled with food. Of the remaining half, the half means 1/4, 25% should be with water. And what about last 25%? Leave it for it to move inside. There's some gas and all things to help the body to digest. That is to be told because there is a possibility that we may not oblige Vayu Devata. I think tomorrow I'll give you some relaxation. You enjoy yourself. Today I'll take care. So there is a no. So also, Ishwararpan, coming to this, buddhi, when performing duty, makes antakaranam shuddha. One can be ethical. One can live a life of dharma. Arjuna lived. But to be a mumukshu, desire for moksha to rise, you need little vairagya. And for vairagya to arise, you need little viveka. And for viveka to be there, you need pure mind, shuddha antakaranam. A typical mind. then you can see what I am doing. Pariksha lokan karmachitan. So, Karma Yoga is meant for mumukshu. Or you can say, and this is a little unnecessary statement, looks like, the Karma Yoga is meant for one who accepts Veda's goal of life. What is it? That is your goal only. No, everybody wants moksha. That is you. And that's why it is given. No, so when a person is wise, Gnani, who has already gained the liberation, for him or her there is no karma yoga. The purpose is fulfilled. And there is no karma for him or her. It is for mumukshu. Mumukshu may perform karma born out of desire, kamya karmas. But then result is taken care of as a prasada. And more often than not, mumukshu would commit to only karyam karma, kartavya karma, and that he or she will do in the awareness of Ishvara. That I am doing this, Ishvara pratyarthe, aidam ham karomi. So that prasad buddhi and Ishvararpana buddhi will take care of likes and dislikes, will manage the raga dvashas. And when they are taken care of, the person gets relatively shuddha antakaranam. Now those people who have given up the karma, two person gives up. One, a wise man, gives up. I would say he or she doesn't give up, karma's drop off from the person. Other person who gives up deliberately, who is called sannyasi, who adopts to the life of sannyasa. So one who gives up karma and adopts a lifestyle where he or she can exclusively pursue the knowledge. Otherwise there is a karma. First of all, kamya karma will take away the time and resources. Suppose that is not there, only dharma is there. But dharma also takes away the resources, his own resources of time and energy and all that. Nothing. At the exclusion of everything else, he just wants to pursue this. It is a moksha, and then become a jignasu, therefore wants to study and gain this knowledge. This person who is wanting to pursue it completely enjoys certain disposition of the mind. First disposition is to understand that this moksha is to be understood, to be known, not something to be gained. It's not an experiential reality, it is to be knowledge reality, myself. And secondly, that lifestyle. That person enjoys certain disposition of mind that is not accidental. Okay? The person has earned that lifestyle by performing proper karma with a proper attitude for so many janmas before, or so many births before. That's why this person gets particular. And what type of attitude depends upon where he left. They are giving some shraddha, there's some inclination to study, inclination to seek something other than what I am doing, or this is all just commitment to dharma, etc. The purva janma. It is not accidental. Now this person, having had that attitude, pursues knowledge at the exclusion of everything else and gets the knowledge in course of time. So the order is karma is natural, then dharmamay karma, I surrender free will to dharma, then karma yoga buddhya krutani karmani, and then Because of that Karma Yoga, Antahkarana Shuddhi, because of Shuddhi there is a Moksha in between Vivek Vairagya, and again some Shuddhi by Guru Seva etc. or some Karma Yoga, Moksha is converted into Jignasa. The moksha is not to be achieved, it is to be known, that understanding. That's a grace. And then from studying Shastra from a teacher, there is a knowledge. This is the order, contextual order of this verse. So Janaka, when Lord Krishna mentions, he has gone through all this. Okay? Arjuna, to be a wise man, he has gone through. That Janaka could gain knowledge in this Janma, that is also not accident. Because previous Janma, not only Janaka must have had a sannyasa and had studied from a teacher, but had assimilated also to some degree his own Purva Janma karma. And there is a basis to believe this statement because in the 6th chapter Lord talks about it. Athava yoginam eva kule bhavati dhimatam tatratam buddhi sanyogam labhate paurvodehikam. So he mentions Janaka implying he has done Karma Yoga. Okay? He has done the karma with an attitude of yoga. You better do. If you think you are wise man. To become wise also one should do, and having become wise also one is done. Why he is saying so? I just now said having gained the wisdom, no need to do karmas drop off. But after knowledge, whether the wise man lives a life of karma yoga or sannyasa purely depends upon his or her prarabdha. Whatever the destiny is, that person is given. Since the person knows I am mukta, I am not the doer, I am not the enjoyer, so he doesn't get affected even by doing action which he or she is supposed to do. Or by not doing also, there is akartrutvam. So, karta bhokta itself not being there is no opposition to doing action or not doing action. Depends upon what it calls for. See, generally this prarabdha is what? Purva janma krita karma prakarshena phaladanaya arabdham. That is prarabdha, that which has begun. For what? Phaladanaya, to give its fruits. Very well. The seed, when it germinates, that means it has begun to give the fruits in terms of the seed, plant and the tree and the flower and the fruits, etc. That's the first stage. So prarabdha is that which has begun fructifying karma. Now, generally, you should know this is always standard question. Every situation is accompanied by will also. And nobody can know whether this situation in my life is caused by prarabdha or by will. Because every situation there is a will along. Suppose you say situation is prarabdha, but how I meet with the situation, I have a will. That will may be stifled or conditioned by some prarabdha. But that I have a choice is always there. That choice may be conditioned because of some purva samskara. But then the will is there. Both play while working. So when the result comes, you don't know whether it is pure prarabdha or will accompanied by prarabdha. Always will be a question. That free will, So free will is what? Which can interfere, modify, nullify, direct or redirect and can work against prarabdha or enhance the prarabdha also. Which prarabdha? Lakshmi prarabdha. He does more puja, so he gets one more Lakshmi. He can do anything. That will is there, you know. Therefore, it is bigger to give phalam. So whatever is that person's prarabdha, he or she has to go through. Already started. What is not to start, you can stop. But that which is already started, you can stop adding some more to stomach. But what has already gone by, you have to address it. That is a prarabdha. Cannot be changed. That being the case, whether a wise man will live a life of sannyasa or karma yoga depends upon his or her prarabdha. Nobody knows. Nobody can figure out. And, you know, only when the knowledge takes place, person abides in the knowledge, then free will is no more a factor to be counted. Because free will is, listen this, free will is constantly exercised to nullify or modify or destroy or change the situation. That let us say prarabdha. But when they are mithya, why should I change? You know, we were playing the game of business. Our prarabdha was there, that you throw a dice and it comes out 6, both of them. That means you have to go to jail in the game, not real life. Don't think of it. You know, see, government, what a government can do. And when these figures come out, you know how shallow Indian politicians have ruled and destroyed the country. Sometimes I used to feel that Modi is becoming very emotional, but I really justify the pain. In UP, they have done 1,147 encounters. Police has to go with a gun. 35 persons died. Some 230 got injured. They were all done. Imagine. What would be the plight of the public in general? No police case. Nothing for, when they were powerful, police was slave to them. And what a state of the society, they are mercy of these guys. Their protection money and then kidnap money and all money. Which businessman will do business? If you have to do this, all gundas. Whole state is full of gundas. And all of them, police cannot go and arrest them because they have to go with a party with AK-56. They all have guns. And they retaliate in a gunshot. That's why police have to do encounter. Police, as Yogi ji said, this will continue. And the state is so strict. Can you believe? Those days they were operating their gang from the jail. They were free. On paper they were in jail doing all things. Some 3,000 to 4,000 have given written that we don't want bail. We are safe here. Imagine how much lawlessness might have been there in UP. And this is only official paper, an iceberg. What may be inside? Yeah. I have heard the stories of farmers. My God, they couldn't keep their cows or buffalo outside. A small hut. They will take away even daylight and butcher it. Can't do anything. So poor guys used to sleep with the cows and buffalo in a small hut. In such a filth. They take away buffaloes, girls and everything. Because you belong to other religion. That kind of story is so pathetic. Blatant, aggressive policies to destroy one dharma. When we met, I met Yogiji first time. He became, and we had gone there and told him, you know, they had language teachers. Urdu teacher was paid 25,000. And for the same post, then again, Akhwa, Dhod Nakhwa, to full the society, they appointed all language teachers. But Sanskrit teachers were paid 10,000. And those Urdu teachers treated him as a subordinate. The poor teachers had to clean. And who will be Urdu teacher? And who will be Sanskrit? All Brahmanas were supposed to do scavenger's job. And then he changed. Madrasas are given funding for the children to study Quran, which teaches this. He linked with this Aadhaar card and all those things. Some 90,000 students just disappeared. They're on paper. Lack of students. It's so painful, the state, the country goes through, Anyway, coming back to this, prarabdha. The wheel is involved. Situation, what causes this situation, you can't say, my prarabdha or my free will. But every time you meet with a situation, there is a prarabdha. There is a free will, how I look at it. And Ajnani would always want to modify, change or reduce something because he or she wants them to be happy. If it's a happy situation, he wants it more or to hold on it. In case of a wise man, there is no purushartha. Free will. Why? Whatever it is mithya, why do I bother? Like the game of dice. You end up going in jail. Chalo jayenge. Because it is mithya. But when we were children, let it not be 6, let it not be 6, let it be 7 or 5, let it be 7 or 5. There is always a prayer. That's a free will. Fellow prays. For expecting some prarabdha. That does not come. Expecting prarabdha. And that prarabdha comes, and I am wise man has nothing. Like this example is, same boy or girl grows up and becomes a grandfather and plays the same thing with the child. No free will. Whatever comes, I am happy. So wise men need not and doesn't use the free will. If at all they use for samashti kalyan. The free will is used not for self-centered ego. Nothing, in English they say, I have no axe to grind. I just do it for survival or for the entire society. So, Janaka had the prarabdha to be king. So he had a prarabdha that he was born as a prince, not king, born as a prince. So he became king. Having become the king, while in the process he might have studied Shastra and he gained the knowledge. And he did not give up the kingship before, he did not require that lifestyle to gain the knowledge. His antahkarana was fairly shuddham. He got it. Having got the knowledge, he doesn't mind in continuing being a king. Why should he mind? Like even some person is extremely poor and he got a knowledge, he or she got a knowledge, then he will not work to become richer because I was poor. My prarabdha to be like this. So Lord is giving example of our Janaka, etc. So far Lord clearly told, hey Arjuna, you are an ignorant guy. You are not a wise person, okay? He told for a wise person that he or she did not do any action. Naiva tasya krute na karyam vidyate, etc. 17 and 18. But you do action. That means you are not. Wise man need not act, but you act. That means you should accept that. Now he says, suppose you think you are wise. But then there were wise people who had a prarabdha to live as a king. And it's a duty of the king to protect the subject and fight the war. And your prarabdha is to fight a war. So either if you are ignorant, then fight this with Ishvara Arpan Buddhi. That sloka, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. That is duty, you do this. That's it. But for Antakarana Shuddhi, you need to have. You have lived a life of dharma, you have certain purity of mind, but then not enough to gain the knowledge, not enough to own up the knowledge. To gain and own up the knowledge, you need to act further with the Karmayoga Buddhi, and your prarabdha is better fight. That he clearly said. In case you think you are a wise man, then also don't give up karma. Because Janaka continued. His prarabdha was to rule, and hey Arjuna, your prarabdha is to fight. Okay, this is important. Your prarabdha, Arjuna's prarabdha is to fight. Therefore, he has been told to fight. Some people say, no, Krishna advises people to fight. Krishna doesn't advise. One fellow in a lighter way told to me, Swamiji, in our family, my wife is 50% wise. She follows Gita, almost 50%. She is 50% follower. Slowly, I hope she is coming to your class and she will follow 100%. So what do you mean by 50%? He's quoted this line. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. So all the time you should remember and fight. So she fights all the time. Remembering. Bhagavan told two things, All the time should fight and remember me. So she has reached to fighting level. Once will come with your Upadesha. So, some of the religions say Krishna is a killer. Krishna Bhagavan, they say Krishna is in so and so hell because he has done papam of killing. It's not killing. I told you there is a minimum himsa, then only you can survive. You can't but have it. You can't have a state where there is no police. Police may not be so much, but some is required. And at least if not some is required, and they have to wield danda, stick and power, because there is a bhayam. See, think of it. In Manhattan there is no NYPD. What will happen to traffic? What will happen to goods? You need. That creates a fear. You need army, ahimsa. It is a part of life. So Krishna told Arjuna to fight, not that he loved to kill. He was not Daud or Taliban. He loved to shoot. This teacher asked somebody, suppose I have 10 apples. And there are 6 students. She was teaching lessons to share and give. And each one should be given 2 apples. And suppose you have that 2 apples and each should be given 2. What will you do? He said, I give 2 to all. And then madam said, if you give 10, you have 10. I'll give you 10 to distribute to 6 persons. Give them each 1, 2. And if you give to each, then 1 person will be left out. This fellow said, I will shoot him. Taliban's child. So problem solved. Why should I give my 2 apples? Krishna was not like that. I will shoot them and be like. This is the dharma. Your prarabdha is to fight and better fight. That's what he's saying. We'll continue. continue this. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.